Welcome to Intersection. This is a new video series that PRovoke Media is launching in partnership with Praytell. I'm Aarti Shah. I'm the executive editor of PRovoke Media, and I'll be the host for this series. So what is Intersection? So the gist of it is we wanted to invite guests to have an open conversation about the ways that creativity, media, and technology intersect with DE&I, which of course is diversity, equity, and inclusion, and to ultimately transform behavior and norms. So we've been focusing on getting guests from outside the PR industry for some fresh thinking. We'll also feature a podcast for the series as well. So for those of you that are more audio oriented, you can listen there. But we'll also have, but it will be primarily a video series. So I'm also here with Andy Pray, the CEO of and the founder of Praytell, Naria Frazier, who's VP and head of DE&I at Praytell, and Stefan Embry, who is VP of brand Allyship at Praytell. And I invited them to give us a little bit more insight into why we're doing this series and why now. Andy, would you like to start?
Sure, I'll go quickly. Thank you, first of all, for the invitation and the partnership and the role that PRovoke plays in keeping the industry informed and pushing the boundaries, particularly on the issues of diversity and inclusion. We were talking about timing. When is the right time to do this? And there's a sensitivity around now or then or late. And I think ultimately we just felt like working with you that the sooner the better. I think there's been a normalization around these discussions that is overdue. Also, I think folks are getting more comfortable being uncomfortable about where our industry is and progress that needs to happen. So I think the word intersection, obviously a word with a lot of meaning, but thinking about how all of these things come together and inform our perspectives, our ideas, our relationships with our clients and our colleagues and even our families, we just think it's really interesting and timely. And 2020 has been a ringer, but if there is one benefit, I think it is that there are more discussions that are happening with more honesty and transparency, and we'd love to be a catalyst for those. We certainly want to learn and listen as much as well, which is what I've been doing, but from Stefan and Naria all summer. So that might be a good segue over to Stefan.
I think we've heard a lot about diversity, equity, and inclusion for the past 5 or 10 years, right? But what's so refreshing about the current conversation is it really comes from a place of recognizing historical and current context. And I think that's why conversations like these are so important, because, no longer can we sort of, it's not a numbers game, right? It's not just about making sure you have included more Black, Brown, and LGBT people, in your company and your brands and your marketing. It's really about understanding the historical context from which these communities come from and their sort of relationship with your industry and company. And so I think conversations like these are super important to really dive into that with, candidly and, with a bit of normalization, like Andy said.
And
Sure, yeah, and the timing couldn't be more than perfect, and this is a reason that Praytell started the people, culture, and allyship practice, is to really bring this type of work to the center and to the core of the services that we offer our clients. So the timing is perfect. The opportunity to have candid and real conversations, there's no better time than now, and there's also no better time than to continue to push the boundaries. So when we talk about creativity, when we talk about media and technology, this platform is really giving us an opportunity to have deep, organic, real conversations that we hope shed light on the conversations that are maybe happening, behind closed doors, and giving insight into how we are all working within our separate silos, but it's all intrinsically connected. So we're so excited to work with PRovoke on this project and all of the speakers who you'll be hearing from throughout the series, and really look forward to engaging and starting conversations within the industry that we can continue to push forward.
On the timing front, I wanted to just give a shout out to both Andy and Naria, is that we started these discussions to have this series even before, this iteration of the Black Lives Movement in 2020. I think, Andy, we started this in May, and I think one of the things you had said was, with COVID, kind of taking over everyone's thinking, we can't let DE&I slip to the background. And then Naria, I remember one of our early conversations was just at the beginning the protests. So kudos for you to keeping this on the forefront. And I think the challenge now is, and this is part of what we want to do with the series, is to kind of keep these conversations at the forefront. And Stefan, to what you said, I mean, not just about numbers, but about understanding the context, both culturally and historically, about various groups, right? And where, people of color, as creatives, as technologists, kind of where they're coming at this and what the industry can learn. So yeah, I think you all summarized really, really well kind of what we are hoping to accomplish. And of course, the series will be available on PRovoke. We'll have a dedicated page, and we'll link to that here in the video notes, and of course on our video channels as well. You can access it directly there. So we are looking forward to the series. We will launch the first one in the next day or so, and keep a lookout. Thanks, everyone. I think that's our farewell until the next video.